So you've done it. The building is ready, you've hired some amazing teachers, and your dream of starting a new school is right there. You can almost touch it. But there's one huge question hanging in the air.
Right? That's the million-dollar question for every school founder. How do you turn this amazing, empty campus into a thriving, bustling community? Well, the answer starts with making a connection, and that connection begins with your brand.
Now, when you hear the word branding, please don't just think about a logo or some fancy colors. It's so much more than that. It is the fundamental promise your school makes to a family. It's the trust you're asking for, the values you stand for, and that unique experience that only you can offer.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with what that brand promise really means. Then we'll get into creating your school's actual identity, building out your digital presence, and connecting with your local community. After that, we'll talk about the magic of storytelling. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the step-by-step blueprint for your admissions campaign. So why do we need to spend so much time on this? Because parents these days, they aren't just buying a service. They are looking for a partner, someone they can trust with their child's entire future. And without a strong, clear brand, even the most incredible school with the best facilities might as well be invisible.
Just think about what a great brand actually builds. It's not just about getting your name out there. We're talking about building real assets, things like genuine trust with parents and becoming a recognized, respected name in your town. These things create a real emotional bond and build a long-term reputation that, honestly, becomes your school's most priceless asset.
Okay, so where do we start building this thing? Well, it all begins with the creative stuff. Your name, your logo, and your tagline. This is the fun part. This is where you get to craft the personality that's going to represent your vision to the world.
These three things, the name, the logo, and the tagline, they are the absolute cornerstones of your identity. Let's kind of break down how each one works together to send a really clear and powerful message.
Picking a name is a big deal. It has to be simple, something people can actually say and remember easily. But it also has to mean something. It should give a little hint about your school's big vision. And here's a super practical tip that people forget all the time: make sure it's unique. You've got to be able to get that website domain.
Let's look at a couple of examples. Bright Steps Academy. You hear that and you immediately think about progress, about early learning. Or Oakfield International School. That name suggests something solid, rooted in nature, but with a global outlook. You see how a great name does a lot of the heavy lifting for you?
All right, next up, your tagline. The best way to think about this is it's your entire school philosophy squeezed into just a handful of words. A powerful tagline like "Nurturing Minds, Building Futures" tells parents exactly what you're about in a single breath. It just sticks with you. Okay, you've got your core identity figured out. Now we've got to build your campus where pretty much every single parent starts their school search today, online. Your digital campus is every bit as important as your physical one.
Your website is your virtual front door. It has to look great and be super easy to use, especially on a phone. And authenticity is everything here. Use real photos of your school, your kids, your campus. They create a connection that stock photos never, ever can. And please, make it ridiculously easy for parents to take the next step with a big, clear Book a Visit button. But it's not just about your website. You have to be discoverable. Setting up a Google business profile is completely non-negotiable. It's like putting your sign up on the main street of the internet. And social media? That's where you let your school's personality shine, sharing the day-to-day moments that make your community special.
So having a great online presence is awesome, but it's really only half the battle. Now we have to translate all that digital awareness into real-world presence. Local marketing is how you get parents to actually come through your gates for a tour.
And it's so important to understand that you can't just pick one. Online and local marketing are a team. Your online stuff casts a really wide net. It builds that broad awareness. But it's the local, on-the-ground marketing that forges those personal connections and builds that deep community trust. You need both. So what does that actually look like? Well, it's not rocket science. It means being smart, leaving pamphlets where young families actually are. It means hosting open house events that are genuinely fun and welcoming, not just a boring lecture. And it means building relationships with other local pros who serve families, like pediatricians or daycares. We've covered the practical steps, the nuts and bolts, but now let's talk about what is hands down your most powerful marketing tool: storytelling. This is how you stop just giving people information and start creating a real, honest-to-goodness emotional connection. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? A glossy poster can list all your fancy facilities, but it can never capture the feeling of your community or the passion of your teachers. For that, you need real stories from real people. And don't worry, capturing these stories is way easier than it sounds. A simple 1-minute video on a smartphone from a happy parent, that is pure gold. A short video of you, the founder, just talking from the heart about why you started this school, that builds incredible trust. These stories are what turn a building into a community. The people are genuinely excited to join.
Okay, I know, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's pull all these different pieces together into a simple, organized, and stress-free action plan. Trust me, a good timeline is going to be your best friend for a smooth admissions season.
Look, a successful admissions campaign is a marathon, not a sprint. You start months ahead of time, laying that brand foundation. From there, you launch your awareness campaigns, then you move into direct community events, and finally, you have those personal conversations that secure enrollments. See how each phase just naturally builds on the one before it? It's all about building momentum.
If you take away just one single thing from all this, let it be this. This is not about being a slick salesperson. It's about authentically and passionately sharing your vision, your values, and the stories of the people in your community. When you do that, you're not selling anymore. You're inviting families to become part of something really special. And that's really the secret sauce. When you build your school's identity with genuine heart and a crystal clear purpose, you naturally attract the families that share your values. The right people find you. And suddenly, admissions doesn't feel like a frantic chase. It feels more like a natural gathering of your tribe.
So, as you head out on this incredible journey, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Just forget the tactics and the timelines for a second, and ask yourself this. What is the single most important promise your school will make to every single child and every single family that walks through your doors? Get that right, and everything else will fall into place. Thanks for joining me.